Okay, this question is on the topic of atomic structure and a little bit of chemical bonding. Um, so the question tells you that there's this element X, and the very important thing to take note is that the ion of element X has 22 electrons, 30 neutrons, and a mass number of 55. Okay, so if you can recall, in the topic of atomic structure, we learned the following representation of an atom, and then from the question we know that it has a mass number of 55, and then you know that there are 30 neutrons. Okay, so we can actually find the number of protons by taking 55 minus 30, which is equals to 25. Okay, so from the mass number and the number of neutrons given, we can actually find the proton number, which is 25. And in a neutral atom, the number of protons would be equal to number of electrons. Okay, and since this is an ion, they tell you that the number of electrons is only 22. So what it means is that this ion was formed when the atom loses 3 electrons. Okay, so when an atom loses 3 electrons, it would acquire a charge of 3 plus, and the answer would be C. Now the difficulty with this question lies in that students tend to look at number of electrons, which is equals to 22, and assume that is equals to number of protons. Okay, so this is the first area where students will tend to make mistakes. This is only applicable, number of electrons equals to number of protons is only applicable for atoms. Okay, so when an atom loses or gains electrons, the number of electrons are no longer the same as the number of protons for in the case of ions. Secondly, some students may look at the number of electrons and try to come up with the electronic configuration for the ion. Now, the practice of writing electronic configurations, for example 2, 8, 8, 2, and so on. Okay, this whatever that we have learned in syllabus is only applicable to the first 20 elements in the periodic table. Okay, for elements beyond 20, whatever rules that we have learned to fill up electron shells no longer applies. Alright, because there are different rules for elements that are larger than 20, that have proton numbers that are greater than 20. Alright, so bear in mind, whatever that we have learned in syllabus for writing electronic configuration can only be applied to the first 20 elements.